I'm a pretty impatient person. That's why I obsess and go all in when I start something. And that sometimes works, but sometimes it's just not the case, and that's not the smartest. That's not the smartest move. I don't know how true this is. If it's not true, please let me know. I just saw this on the internet and I thought this was kind of interesting, but it was talking about the actor Harrison Ford, like from Star Wars and Indiana Jones and all those movies. And it was talking about when he initially moved to LA, where he lives, and how he had a plan. His plan was different than everybody else that was on like the figurative or the bus that he was on going to LA. Like everybody on the bus wanted to make it, and they wanted to make it as fast as possible. They wanted to get from where they were to like their end goal, which was being like a full-time actor or a full-time actress or whatever, as quickly as they could. And Harrison Ford did something a little bit different. He planned on making it a long and a slow transition, because his plan was he didn't want to just obsess and fixate on getting there and then get super burned out and super frustrated like 2 weeks in or 2 years in or whatever that may look like. He was playing the long game. He basically aligned his life to where he had other income to supplement the lack of acting jobs that he got starting off. And one of those jobs was being a carpenter. He was a carpenter for a long time before he actually made it full-time in any kind of like meaningful acting like job or gig or whatever. I'm a pretty impatient person. That's why I obsess and go all in when I start something. And don't get me wrong, obsessing about it just makes you that much better. It helps you improve that much quicker. But in the long term, there's going to be some kind of patience required at some point. It may not be right off the bat. It may not be for a couple of years down the road, but eventually you're going to encounter a lull season or a time where things aren't going as fast and everything slows down, and that's where patience is going to be required. And I don't think being fully obsessed with something is a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. It's just sometimes when you have a problem and you have a goal and you're like on this side of the line and the goal's on the other side, sometimes the thing that crosses you over is patience. When you work really hard for something and you don't stop and you want to get there as fast as possible, you're way more susceptible to being burned out. And I speak from this from experience. There have been a lot of times where I don't want to do anything. I'm just frustrated and I don't have a lot of energy, and it's because I've been burned out, because I haven't learned to pace myself. And the ironic thing is, if you pace yourself and you take your time and you have patience, you can go much further than you would just in a dead sprint. It doesn't feel like that when you're in the middle of it, but long term, you'll be able to go further. Also, if you may be wondering what the bandana is for, I put ice in it and it helps cool you down when you're running some of these hills in the middle of the day. I think to really set yourself up for success and like being successful and outpacing everybody else, like that's your competition, if you want to look at it that way, is to do exactly what that story said that Harrison Ford did. Like find a income that will be your main income and then slowly make the transition. That way there's no limit, both financially and whatever other resources that you may run out of, if you have like something that's sustaining you in the meantime while you slowly make that transition. The article also said that he wanted to do that so that he could find the parts that were right for him and find roles that were right for him, and he didn't have to compromise to do something just because it paid. Having that ability or having that power is that's a really, really good thing to have, especially when you're first starting out. I think the only downside to that is to make sure that you don't get comfortable in make sure that you don't get comfortable in whatever you're using to be the supplemental income. And I think a lot of people can get stuck in that and just settle for whatever that career may be. Whether you want to do that or not, that's completely up to you. But I think that is a risk that you need to know as you make a transition or something like that. So if you, I'm sorry that you fell over like twice. I'm using my phone to record this, and you were leaned up against that little dashboard right there. And every time there's a bump like that, yeah. Did you ever grow up with doing something like your entire life? Like you went to a specific place or you did something specific your entire life and you didn't realize that it was like a big part of your childhood until you're an adult, and you go back to the place that you spent your childhood, or you came back doing the thing that you did as a child. Well, that's what this fair is for me. This fair, I didn't realize it, but I literally spent the formative years like in high school coming here, and then when I was out like on my own, I would still come here and like just come and walk around like the county fair. And it's to the point where I actually judge other fairs based on this county fair. This has nothing to do with the video today. We were coming here and I felt like I wanted to bring like a camera and capture it. So I have my iPhone and these microphones, and I'm capturing a little bit of it. Right now there's some kind of magic show going on. That's what you're hearing in the background, I guess. We got coffee made by a robot, and now we're sitting up in the bleachers at a horse track where they gamble. Where all the like drunk people are, and they just sit here all day and gamble on horses. How this horse track works is they have races every like 30 minutes, and it's one lap. The track is like 1 mile long, and they do like 6 horses at a time, where you can like place your bets within those 30 minutes, and they do that all day long. It's turned into from a magic show to the guy talking. I don't know if he's a magician or if he's a zookeeper. He's showing a snake to just look at this.
And if you come to things in and you get a really up close look at these guys, you can definitely see the difference between the face of a regular snake and a legless lizard. So if you're ever out in the wild and you see a snake and it
winks. So what is my final like little takeaway for just having like the whole like Harrison Ford kind of approach to things? I think honestly there are some times where it's probably better to not be completely totally obsessed with something and diving all the way in, and having patience and letting things kind of work organically. But like I said, I think that just really depends on the situation and what like is actually happening in that specific like thing. If you have any thoughts on this, please let me know. I just thought that I thought that the story from the Harrison Ford thing was really interesting, because I have thoughts and experiences that are similar to that in some aspects and some not so much. Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video.